So hello, Viivi Lahteenoja.
Hello.
Hello, Esther De Loof. Welcome in these interviews that we do. Viivi, you are one of the chair of the board of MyData Global, and you are the operational director of SolidLab. And I know that both together work on this new topic and very hot topic, I would say, of personal data spaces, right? Since we understand the importance in this personal data space to empower people and to raise the awareness of people of working, of sharing their personal data, I would like to ask you the role of the human being for interoperability of these personal data spaces. So Viivi.
Thank you. I think that's an excellent question. So the role of human beings in interoperability is absolutely essential. It is at the core of European values to put individuals at the center of our data economy, make sure that their basic rights of data protection and privacy are respected while they get to set the agenda and get value from data that is generated about them, us, every day. And I like to promote the idea of human interoperability in contexts like these, because too often we talk past each other. Too often we talk about use terms that mean kind of the same thing but not quite, and we end up debating instead of in dialogue. And that's why I love events like this, where we get to actually talk and ask follow-up questions and really try to understand and interoperate on a human level.
Esther, what do you think?
I typically just think about my mom and how will these personal data spaces work for people like my mom. Is she going to be able to, have a good user experience, or is she going to be bombarded with cookie requests and consent panels? And how are we going to make this a reality for all people that really lets data work for us instead of us working for data, which is, I think, today often the case. And that's, I think, what we, together with MyData, are trying to figure out. How are we really going to make these personal data spaces live in a decent way?
So you work together, yeah? MyLab and SolidLab, MyData, sorry, and SolidLab, they work together in order to achieve the same objectives. Do you think SEMIC and what SEMIC produces, like the semantic assets, but also other type of products and proof of concept that SEMIC produced, can help in really make your two realities work together, because ultimately we need interoperability, So in which way you see this role of SEMIC in this intersection between these two initiatives?
I think it's really valuable, especially in producing these kind of products that you mentioned as well, because they can function as kind of boundary objects, because we all these kind of sub-communities speak slightly differently. Like I mentioned before, we have our own kind of reference models and terminologies for things, and then something that SEMIC produces can kind of give something that serves as something that we can both relate to, and that helps us understand each other and kind of, okay, so this is how we do this bit, this is how you do this bit, and we know we're talking about the same thing. So I think it's really invaluable that we have something that serves as a kind of common ground.
Yeah, and I think we're using a lot of the tooling that SEMIC gives us, but I don't think the tooling is the main thing that SEMIC gave us, because for the longest time I've been thinking MyData and Solid, they are very compatible and we should be working together, and it's thanks to SEMIC that finally we got a project that we could focus on to really work together. And bringing people together, I think that's the most important thing that SEMIC does, apart from all of the tooling, etc.
That's very interesting. And what about the future? What are the next steps?
So we have a really exciting spring coming up. We have a series of workshops in which we're going to be exploring interoperability on a number of levels between MyData operators, which are these kind of human-centric data intermediaries described in the Data Governance Act, with different kinds of implementations and use cases of solid technologies and different actors in the space. And I'm really kind of excited to take these steps towards more and more interoperability together this spring.
Absolutely, and I think we're working on two levels. So on the one level, sketching the context of how all of these things work together, but then also making it very tangible and really taking one use case and showing this is how you can reach the objectives that MyData has by using the solid technology to do it in a real use case. And then other use cases can come and look at this and see, oh, how can we get started? And then we're of course there to help them out.
And do you have an idea of this real use case already, or can you share?
We have a couple that we've been considering, because it's not easy to pick the right case. I think for now, and correct me if I'm wrong, we are centering on an HR case.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's a case that is already active or going to be active in a couple of regions. We've got Flanders, we've got Sweden, we've got other regions working in this space. So we're just trying to pick up on that traction and further that into a demonstrator.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, Giorgia.